Welcome in, everybody. My name is Josh. This is Gaming Enjoy channel, and we are starting the game right now in a different way or mode, or I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it. We are starting the game. We're playing multiplayer tonight. No, you can't join. I'm not telling you the password. Too bad. Not happening. Camera's not working either. Let's get the camera on. Wake you up. Resume. Resume. Human trafficking. Trafficking. Let's turn that on. Let's fix this. Let's go in here. Save. Meet. Tiny. There we go. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Josh. This is the Gaming Joy channel, and we are gonna play some farm sim. Can you believe that? Shit. We're gonna play farm sim. And we're on the wrong farm right now, actually. We're on this farm. And we need seriously to get our hide NPC mod. They actually just got released on ModHub, so congratulations to me. If you guys don't know, we have two new mods that got released recently on ModHub. We have hide NPCs, which will get rid of Walter here, and we have a, what was the other one? Oh, set the price of farmland by difficulty. So it'll update your game to set all the farmlands on any map, on any game save, set them to be priced based on the difficulty. So if you're playing on easy mode, it'll be cheaper farmland. Really excited to get those two mods out there. I haven't installed it on this game save, but we'll get Walter out of here shortly. What are we doing today? We're actually in a John Deere. Why are we in a John Deere? Well, what did we do? We did something crazy. And we talked about this, I think, the last time. So if you guys don't remember, hold on. My green screen is showing its borders. Okay, there we go. If you guys don't remember, the last time we played, we have, if we look at the mappity map, boop, 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 boop. This is all of our land that we have so far, right? This is the farm where we're doing the construction for the thingamabobber, whatever this is called. It's called a temple. And we have some like fun new crops for Farm Sim 25 over here. And we're just experiencing the new crops and with our sawmill over here. And we're going to build a new sawmill here in a little bit. And we're building up this temple. This temple apparently takes forever because it's 3 years into the game and we're still like not even seeing shapes of buildings yet. So it's taking forever. And then last stream, we went and bought this farm over here, which is the new player farm, the new farmer mode farm. And we started, we harvested some crops, we planted some more rice, we made the rice fields a little tiny bit bigger. We did some cultivating, did some liming, all kinds of stuff. We have two more fields to buy, 34 and 29, once we get the money for them. 34 is going to suck because it actually comes with this entire forest here, and I don't want it to come with that entire forest, so I may just go ahead and edit the map and disconnect it because that's really annoying. I actually might do that. That's really annoying. Anyways, but what we're going to do tonight, is we've separated the farms. So now we have multiplayer farms. We talked about doing this. We've done it now. We have 3 farms. We have our we have our logging and surface crops farm. I'm really obvious about what we're naming these. This one is logging and surface crops because we're doing logging and we're doing all the surface crops with this farm. This is the rice and kimchi farm, right? We're harvesting both. We're going to do both long grain and regular traditional rice, and then we're going to end up getting the canning factory and the kimchi factory or whatever we need to do. And we're going to make kimchi. That's the end goal. We're on Asian. This is the Asian farm, and then we had created a third farm also, which we haven't talked about yet, which is the animals and cereal farm. Now, why is there a dot behind my head? Anyways, that's the animals and cereal farm. And that's the one we're going to be playing on tonight. We're already part of this farm. So I just have to jump around. I just go like this. I click this and I go into the next farm. And I'm farm manager on all of them. But if I wanted to play on a different farm, I just go to the other farm. Now, the other thing I did is I set it up now such that I'm not a contractor on any of the other farms. So if I want to do something on each farm, I have to be in the vehicles for that farm. It's one of the actually rules of the thing, and I it's really hard to set up without doing multiplayer. So I'm going to do multiplayer because it's the easiest way to set it up. So each farm owns their own stuff, owns their own vehicles, owns their own buildings and productions and yada yada yada, does their own contracts. And what we'll do is we'll kind of tailor which farm does which contracts to the farm, right? Or to their area or to whatever is needed to make it make sense. That's kind of what we're going to do. So today we're on the Animals and Cereal farm and we are doing a contract. Now the Animals and Cereal farm has $0, right? We bought the farm and then we reset the farm's money to 0. We didn't like buy the farm, but like in here, when you create a new farm, boop, 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 you create a new farm, call it, we're going to call it poop. Can't even spell poop. We're going to create a new farm, create farm. And now we have another farm called poop. It doesn't even let me make a farm called poop. Thank you, Giants, for your weird, like, obfuscation of the word that I typed in. Jerk. Asshole piece of crap. Anyways, you get 100 grand initially. I just reset the money using easy def. So we don't want it. We don't want that extra that other farm called $$S P. So we don't want that one. We want these 3 farms. But on this farm, we have $0 because it's a new farm. We don't even have land yet. So this farm doesn't have any land and they're going to need to buy land. So my idea, and you guys can tell me whether you think this is a good idea or not. My idea is to do some contracts that relate to this farm to be able to buy the farm. Because the first thing we're going to need to buy is, we look at our map, we want to buy this farm, which is actually the field we're doing a contract on. We can't say poop, can't say shit, can't say any of those kind of things. You know the other one, the contractor domination challenge. It doesn't like the fact that I had the word domination in. Giants actually has that dominate as a bad word. Come on. Anyway, so this is going to be the farm that we're going to buy. It's $458,000 because we are in, I believe we're still, are we playing this in hard mode or are we playing in easy mode? I don't even know. We're playing in hard mode. So even if I installed my special mod that changes the value, I wouldn't be able to change that value. So whatevs. It's $468,000. We're going to need to make some money to be able to buy that farm. So the only way for a new farm to make money is to do contracts. And they're going to have to lease equipment to be able to do that. Wrong button. So we're going to do, and I can't even use Courseplay because I don't have any money to pay workers. So we're going to come in here, fix the volume. I just realized my volume setting is still on the wrong setting. I was playing the other night, watching a video. I think I was watching Bruce or Rusty's videos. I know those guys are here, so I was watching one of their videos and I decided to watch it on this, like I have 2 screens. Where the frick are the sounds? Contract boost, simple inspector. There it is. I set my game volume to 20%. There we go. And that one. And that one. Oh, this thing is not straight. Okay. We're gonna make some barley with some straw. And we're gonna have to we're gonna just leave the straw on the field. Or we might come steal it with one of the other farms. So I don't have any way of picking that up. I don't have any money, so I can't bail it unless we magically find a bailing contract. and can use the baler from the baling contract. I don't know. But anyway, so we're gonna do some contracts. It is the beginnings June. I'm surprised to see harvesting in June. I didn't think harvesting, like, stop that. I didn't think June was a harvest month, but I guess on Hutan Pantai it is. So yeah. But either way, that's what we're doing today. We're gonna do some contracts, try to make some money for our third farm. Our second farm is well on its way. But that second farm is also going to have to do some contracts or do something to make some money to be able to buy 2 more fields. So hopefully when we harvest the fields that we have, we'll make some money and we can buy 2 more fields. That'll be the goal. But yeah, welcome in. And I see a bunch of people come in. I see Bruce. Thanks for being here, Bruce. Phil, thanks for being here. Happy to see you. If there's anyone else in chat, please say hi in chat. I'd love to say hi to everyone who comes in. I greatly appreciate everyone who stops by and watches my videos. Oh, and a special thank you to everyone. I don't have a cheer button. I kind of wish I did, but I don't have it. Like, yay. So I need to, I need to find as a cheer button, one of my all-time favorite video game Easter eggs. Easter egg? I guess it's an Easter egg. Is from Halo. I think it was Halo 2. So in Halo 2, you can get you end up finding a special thing somewhere or whatever. It's like a skull. You find these skulls, and the skulls unlock certain things, and you can turn them on and off, but they unlock like extra things. And so there's the one skull that you unlock, which is the grunt headshot skull. And so in Halo, there's enemies. One of those enemies is called a grunt. If you've never played Halo, it's an Xbox thing. And one of those enemies is called a grunt. Now, if you headshot a grunt with this skull active, it does this like confetti animation every time you headshot a grunt. And they're like little guys, so they're a little bit tough to headshot if you're not good. But I mean, you can headshot everything in that game with just a pistol, so whatever. But you headshot a grunt and it does this kind of confetti animation, which is like, yeah. And then it does this like this sound effect that sounds like kids cheering at a birthday party or something like that. Yay! And that's it. It's just like, poof, pop, yay, yay. It's hilarious. And so when you have like multiple people who are good at doing headshots, like me and my cousin, you're just constantly hearing pop, yay, 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 all over the place. And they were directional, right? So if you hit a grunt that was close by, it would be super loud. And if you hit one too far away, it'd be the sound effect would play where the grunt is. And it was just the funnest feature. And so I think if I ever, back to the real life, I think if I have one button left on my Stream Deck that's not bound to anything, and I think that I definitely need to get a confetti effect and that sound effect, so that when I press it, it does like a full screen confetti and does the exact same sound effect. I've looked for that sound effect a couple times. I have been able to find it, but I don't really think I looked that hard, so I think that would be the ultimate last thing to add to our streaming setup. This is a giant field. So we have 2 contracts to do today. Noah Farms. Oh, speaking of, and this is why I wanted that sound effect, right, Phil? Is I hit 900 subscribers. I don't ever push subscribing, like, please subscribe. Yeah, that's great. I would actually prefer that everyone liked the video to get more eyes in here. And I've never pushed to ask people to subscribe or sign up for memberships or whatever. I don't push it at all. I don't do subscriber marathons or anything silly like that. I care, but I don't care. Like, I care, but not enough to push people to do something they don't want to do. So, yes, I'm excited, but I mean, I've been at like 850 since like the January last year. Like, it's been almost a year to get 50 subscribers. I get like 1 or 2 a month. It's been a slow process, but thank you so much to all the new subscribers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming along to this crazy journey. I know I've been a little bit outside of the farm sim world, playing other games, but we're back on farm sim for the most part. I've got a whole list of mods to submit. I got like 4 or 5 mods waiting to submit, couple updates, couple new mods, yada yada yada, waiting on some translations, but those will go out soon. A couple more updates, couple more new mods coming out after that, and then I really want to, once I get all those mods that are stacked up waiting and I have them almost done, I want to get them all done, and then I really want to get to map development. So hopefully we'll get to making a map soon enough. And I may start out with a simple map. I may start out with not like my magnum opus map, but I may just start out with like, you know, a survival map, like a really simple survival map that's, you know, or maybe a really simple farming map that isn't like crazy, but is enough to show like something cool, right? And I'm probably going to do it off of real life locations. I actually saw a new location that I think would turn into a great map. I have all this like, so minor story time, right? If you guys have seen some of my live stream, live modding, live map development, I've done a couple streams from that. And we've talked about this place that's near me, which is the first map that I did an export on, which was this road that's near my house. It's about 15 minutes away from my house, called Vasco Road. And the Vasco Road goes up and over and through the hills, through a wilderness area that is almost entirely grassland. There's, I swear to God, there's no trees there. Like, there's some trees a little bit in like culverts and valleys and stuff like that, but it's very hilly. Almost all grass. There's roaming sheep and roaming cows, like full, like, you know, 10,000 cows roaming on the side of a hill, right? It's crazy, right? And so I drive past that every time I go to the office. This time of year is the most fun time of year, right? From December to about March in California, where I live, is the most fun because that road, during this time, all the grass is green, right? Because California, you know, we're called the Golden State for a reason, right? Because the hills look like gold in the sunlight at the end of the day all summer long, because it's not grass, it's super dry grass, right? And that's where I got the idea for prairie grass in the first place. Was I live in California, the grass here is pretty freaking dry. And because the grass is pretty freaking dry, should I do 2 headlands? I probably should. There we go. And so this is like what I drive through all the time. And so that hilly area is a significantly large portion of land. And the cool thing I think about it is that no one farms there because it's preserved land. So nothing ever happens there. So no one has ever farmed there. There's a couple minor farms there that are outside of the preserved area, but it's a fun, like, mind thought process to think of, oh, well, what could you do with that land if it was opened up for farming? Like, what would you be able to do with it? So, and I think that's the question I'm going to pose to everyone when I make that map is, what am I going to do with it? But anyways, the south side of that pristine land borders on a highway. And that highway is south? No, I'm sorry. The east side of that area borders on a highway, which is I-5. I-5 is the north-south highway that goes from the tippity top of California all the way down to San Diego. It's this big, long, pretty dang straight highway that runs north to south in California. And I believe it's one of the longest single highways in a single state anywhere in the country. I think it's one of the longest. But anyways, when my cousins moved and now they live just off of Highway 5. And so we were driving down to their house on Highway 5 and I was like, I'm always the kind of person where I'm like driving, bored, looking around, just seeing what's around me, right? I'm constantly looking. And I'm constantly looking around me. Anytime I see like nice rolling hills, I'm like, ooh, I wonder if that would be a good place to make a map with. Because now I'm thinking like, oh, this tool, this Maps for FS thing, which automatically takes the DEM stuff and turns it into a usable map with not too very much work. Like all that stuff makes it so that I could create a map pretty easily without too much effort. Oh, that would be great, Phil. Without too much effort, I could make a map, right? And that would give me the basis to make a cool kind of map. And I've seen different areas and different things that I like and whatnot. So anyways, I want to make a bunch of California maps. There's a bunch of stuff in my area that's all really good fodder for making maps. So that's my goal for the rest of the year. Once I get my mods done and released, I'm going to move on to map making and try to release 3 or 4 maps for California. I'm not going to try to, I was thinking about the only other place I might release a map for is Pennsylvania, which is where my sister lives. I might do her farm as the center of a map. But we'll see. I kind of want to use the stuff that I know the best, which is the stuff that I see every day when I'm commuting or whatever, right? All right, let's go get this thing. Does anyone know how the contractor access works in this game? Like if I'm on this farm and I grant contractor access to, let's say, the logging farm, does that mean the logging farm, I can use the logging farm's vehicles, or does it go the other way around? I really don't know. I'm asking for a friend. Because I can't leave this straw on the ground. I'm going to have to get the logging farm to come down here and pick it up for me. Or I'm going to have to use their equipment to pick it up. Or maybe borrow some money so I can lease a tractor and a VPW trailer to pick it up. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I can always borrow some money. That's a better idea, actually. I'll do that. I'll just borrow the money. Hey, Rusty. Welcome in. I'm driving a John Deere. I think this is the first time I've driven this harvester in this game. It's not bad. Yeah, Rusty's played with it. Actually, Rusty would know this answer. So Rusty, if I'm on a multiplayer farm setup. And so farm A, farm B, farm C. If I'm in farm C and I want to borrow farm A's vehicles to do a contract for farm C. So I'm part of farm C and I want to be able to drive farm A's vehicles and use them for a job. Do I grant farm A contractor status when I'm in farm C, or do I do it the other way around where I'm in farm A and I grant farm C contractor status? Do you know which way it works? because you do this stuff when you do the multiplayer setups all the time. And today was my first time doing it. Can't believe I said that, but today was my first time doing a multiplayer on my own. And so I can show you in a second one. Let me just make this turn. Hey, Crustu, welcome in. Welcome in. So I have, because it needed right now to save. I really needed that. Thank you. So I have 3 farms, right? This is the original farm. This is the new farm. And this is the one I'm doing a contract on now that has no money. But since it has no money, I can't lease or borrow vehicles, blah, blah, blah. But basically all the good equipment is on farm A, and I'm on farm C right now. And I want to use the equipment for farm A on this contract that farm C is doing. Does that make sense? Okay. If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments. Second Chance Gaming, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. I'm actually back on, since you guys are new here, or not new, but you guys just joined, I'm back on Hutan Pantai. I can't believe I've been spent this long on a flat map. It's actually not completely flat, but it's flatter than I normally like. On the contrary, I have been having a lot of fun on that Russian map, even though I found out that that Russian map is never coming to Mod Hub. It's a really, really nice map. They did a really, really good job, but it's never coming to Mod Hub because they are bad hackers and stealers. But I have been fun playing with it anyways. I'm playing it only on my own. I'm not going to stream it because it's they were bad modders. But I'll play with it on my own because I can still have fun with it on my own. So take that. But yeah, that Russian map is really nice. It's the difference of this because it's hilly the whole time. There is no flat field anywhere on the entire map. If you wanted to make a rice field on that map, you would not be able to because there's no flat piece of land anywhere on the entire map. So you'd be in like, stepped rice field hell, which is the kind of map I like. But they stole the grass from Kinlaid, so it'll never make it to Mod Hub. Bummer. Oh well. But welcome in. Thanks for being here, Deep South. Thanks for coming along. I have been checking out some of your videos, dude. Deep South is a relatively new content creator, and new to the channel. Thank you very much for being here. You've been doing some awesome stuff. I've been watching some of your videos when I have some free time. Doing a good job. Good jobs. Playing some of these challenges that we're doing here. With Rusty and all his challenges. This was the first challenge that Rusty made for FS25, which is the Can You Survive challenge. And I actually don't know, actually. Let's look. Let's look at the statistics screen. Finances. Where's the statistics? Where's the statistics? Where's the statistics? Does anyone know? I think it's on the save screen, isn't it? I don't think you can see the statistics when you're actually in the game. It's actually refreshing to have separate farms. And one of the reasons that I find it refreshing to have separate farms is the fact that you can, when you tab through vehicles, you only have only a couple vehicles. Because in the main farm, I had like a dozen vehicles at least. And so I'm constantly tabbing through a dozen vehicles. here on this new farm that I'm still creating, I haven't actually gotten a tractor yet. So all I have are these borrowed vehicles from the contract. Which is crazy. Oh, no statistics in multiplayer. Okay. See how often I play multiplayer? Like, I do multiplayer when I'm like joining someone else's server, and I do multiplayer when I'm testing my own mods on my own multiplayer server, which pretty much stands stagnant all the time. But this is not a server, this is local. This is just for this challenge. So Rusty, what I did is I have 3 farms. I set up the logging and surface crops farm. I'm very, very straightforward when I name these farms. I don't get creative at all. This is the rice and kimchi farm, and this is the animals and cereal farm. Like, pretty simple. Is that thing emptied? I think so. I'm at 93%. I think I'm gonna go unload this thing. I don't know if this thing with it, like, this is a base game truck. I don't know if this thing's gonna make it up the hill that I need to get to the place that I'm gonna drop this thing off. I don't know if it's gonna make it. It might not. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna this farm is gonna be here at this farm here, but I'm gonna have to change some stuff with the farm to be able to add cows and probably cows and chickens or something, or cows and sheep. Maybe we'll do some animals. Maybe just cows. We'll get rid of the greenhouse that's there, but that piece of property is like 500 grand, so it's gonna take a little while to save up that much money. Boop. I noticed that Crustu has been who's the other one who's been doing Wranglersaurus Rex has also been blowing this challenge out of the water. He's on like episode 57 or something like that. Wranglersaurus Rex is, and then Crustu's on what'd you release today, Crustu? Like 30 something? 37, 38, 39, something like that. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but yeah, they're all doing really awesome with this challenge. I'm not. Dump here. Is that delivering for the contract? I hope it is. I think that's where I'm supposed to deliver. Active. This one. Why don't they tell you how much you've delivered? I hate that there's only one progress bar. That's so annoying. Episode 79. Oh my gosh, Crystal, I was so wrong. I'm very sorry. 79 is insane, dude. Good job. How do I switch from tanks? Tip side front, tip side middle, and then I, is that right? Now I should be dumping 2 tanks at once right now. Why am I not doing anything? Oh, I can't jump 2 tanks at once? Oh, it doesn't let you dump 2 tanks at once. That's annoying. 26% transported for field 4. Okay, so it is working. All right, perfect. Well, so my idea, Rusty, and you can use my idea too, is like I've already put in a significant amount of time And when I started the Can You Survive challenge, I knew based on how I play things and how much I distaste Giants maps, how much distaste I have for Giants maps, that's the right way to say it, that I wouldn't be able to play 1,500 hours on a single map. That's just never gonna happen. I know that's not gonna happen. But playing 500 hours, I could fathom that over time, you know, over the course of a year or something like that. I could see playing 500 hours on a Giants maps. I mean, they do relatively nice decorated maps. I don't dislike them. But yeah. So that's my plan is I'm going to do 500 hours on this map. And then 500 hours on Kinlaid, because I really like Kinlaid. I think I can definitely do 500 hours in that map. That map looks awesome. And then maybe whatever the next map is from Giants. Like, I'm assuming the year 2 season pass, sometime in November of this year, they're going to come out with another map. And I don't know what they're going to come out with. Who knows? I don't think anyone knows. Have they even started announcing it yet? But anyways, maybe they'll come up with another map. And then at that point, I can either decide to do the new map or do like Riverbend Springs. I'm definitely not doing Sri Lanka. I'm just not a fan of Sri Lanka at all. I'm wondering where they're going to go next. Like just split up the 1,500 hours between 3 maps. That way you're playing something new. You're not playing the same old thing. And I think that after, you know, 400 or 500 hours of a map, you're going to be sick of that map, which means it's going to be time to switch something up. So that was my thought process, at least. And not only that, when you switch stuff up, you can switch up with like the brands that you're using and the machinery that you're using, and use all new machinery that you haven't been using on the other map, and then like have a very fresh feeling play, right? Yeah, you could do any of the maps that were originally Mod Hub, right? Hobilaron, Elm Creek, Westbridge Hills. Or even like what's the island one? And isn't Puma coming out with Goldcrest Valley, right? Or maybe you, exactly like Bruce is saying, maybe you do an edit of one of those maps that changes the idea of the map, like changing it to forestry. Maybe you do that. Who knows? I know for sure, if you start getting into forestry, you can dump tons of hours into forestry. Dumping a lot of time into forestry is probably one of the biggest tasks you could do on any map that just uses up a lot of time. Which reminds me, at some point today, we should switch to the logging farm and go check the temple and see how our progress is doing with the temple's requirements. Exactly, like what you're trying to do in Silverrun. Exactly, like take the idea of the map but switch it up and do something not what they expected or not what was expected, or leveraging the modding community to do something completely different, right? Or whatever, like using completely different equipment so you're not getting tired of the same stuff. Like I'm even doing that on this map where like the main farm is like a bunch of JCB stuff, JCB tractors, and then the rice farm is going to be all the Iseki stuff, and the lizard branded stuff, and then this farm I'm going to probably do Fence Agco, and maybe do the older Fence stuff, which I don't ever get a chance to play with, but I very much enjoy. I think that's my plan for this farm. And that way each farm is also different. So, and I think by the end of it, you could actually turn it into like 3-day months. So you spend 1 day on each farm and you do all the things that is required by that farm. And then you switch to the next farm and do all the things required by that farm. I think that's what I may end up doing, is going to like multiple day months. And, seeing how that affects gameplay, or how that affects how I see gameplay, right? Maybe make it a little fresh. So I don't know if you guys, I haven't been, I've been out of the loop. Somebody tell me, please, what Giants announced for season 2. Because, I mean, we should know by now, right? We should know what's going on for season 2 by now, right? Okay. Sorry, not sorry. More poop. That sign on Kinlaid is intriguing. Yeah, I think it is too. Just secrets. Yeah. Just like they usually do. Where they tease all over just repeatedly. And they never tell you anything real. Something about seeds and a new map. Maybe they'll actually release multiple seed types where you have to actually buy wheat seeds and barley seeds and rice seeds. Maybe they'll do it legit. Who knows? Wait, why'd it stop? Why'd you stop? Give me 1 sec, folks. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, let's start looking now that we have course or whatever set up to go in straight lines. Let's start thinking about leasing some vehicles, a vehicle, and picking up this straw. Okay, we're gonna lease a vehicle. We're not gonna borrow from the other farms. We're gonna try to keep it like each farm can only do their own stuff. No borrowing or stealing from other farms. Okay. We go here. We're gonna I'm gonna pick some stuff that I'm gonna release. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna do Fent. Gen 2 or Gen 3? Which one has less errors in the log? This thing is almost failing right away because it has somebody's stickers on it. I like the look of this one better. All right, 40 kilometers an hour, 50 kilometers an hour. Bicket. Those are some giant tires. Can I change the color? Yes, I can. Favorites. Select. 110 grand is not bad. In all honesty. These are the what is the rate? I don't even know what that is. It's freaking German. Select. Okay. This is... I shouldn't spend too much time. It's not even going to tell me how much it is to lease. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. All right. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to... That's a nice looking tractor. I will turn around. And I'm going to borrow some money so that I can lease a tractor and lease a pickup wagon. So we're going to go here. Go to the finances screen. Thank you for saving in the middle of a stream. That's really great. Total loan $250,000. What? I don't have a $250,000 loan. I have a $0,000 loan. Oh, I just borrowed $100,000. That's not what I wanted. But whatevs. I'll repay it. It doesn't matter. There, and then go back to that. This one, I like the look of this one. Oh, go there, go there. Oh, I'm gonna have to go there. The Nokian tires just look badass. We're not gonna do the. We're gonna do this. Do Hello Matte Black. Select. Come down here. I don't know what any of that stuff means because it's in German. Oh, I can change the roof. Hell yes. Favorites, black. Boop. Boop. There we go. License plates. None. Okay. Lease. Yes, $5 grand. That's not bad. Oh, look, and I just got to the end of the road. Or end of the row. I hadn't gone into the road yet. Okay. And then while we're going on the other way around, let's pick up one of these. Since we are driving a Fent, we have to get the Fent one. And we're going to get... Not that. We'll get the double capacity. And we'll get the Bicket. Yes. Cover, yes. I like the cover on this one. The cover on this one looks nice. Select. Rim color. Black. Cover, yes. Main color. Frame color. It's fine. And no plate. Okay. This thing costs more than the tractor. All right, it's like 12 grand. And we got some vehicle equipment that we can use to start picking up this straw. And we're just going to sell it, make some extra money. So we don't own any land, so we can't place down a parenting silo because we don't actually own any land. But at least we'll start making some money and use these contracts to our benefit as much as possible. Sweet. Oh, nice, Phil. Can't wait to see that. I don't understand why this has 3 hoppers. The middle hopper is like nothing. Like, why'd you even bother? Okay, fine. Whatever. Triple hopper piece of poop. And then we're going to use this same equipment to go do a contract on another field. To maximize the fact that we had to borrow this with $0 in the bank. I wonder if when you're in multiplayer mode, it just defaults to a $250,000 loan for every farm. Is that how it works? Or does somehow each farm share the $250,000 loan? I'm going to have to futz with the numbers and get rid of that loan because I don't want to have a $250,000 loan for each farm. That's not appropriate. I don't mind paying that loan once, but I'm not paying it 3 times. That's not... I don't know, Rusty, do I have to pay the loan 3 times? I don't remember the starting rules. Because I started it, let's see, let's actually jump to the other farm. Actually, no, I can't while I'm driving. Because, like, when I started a new farmer, I just started in normal new farmer mode. But then today, I switched to multiplayer mode. And so every new farm I add, I think is starting with $100,000 and a $250,000 loan. But I don't want them to each have that $250,000 loan. That's lame. So I think I'm just going to get rid of the $250,000 loan on the 2nd and 3rd farms because that just doesn't make sense. Because I'm expanding, I'm growing, I'm adding another farm. I shouldn't have to... I'm not getting anything when I expand. I'm not getting any buildings or land for free. I've bought all the land, all the equipment, all that stuff. I'm not actually getting anything with that $250,000. Whereas in new farmer mode, you get something for that $250,000, right? Even though when I started this playthrough, I don't think I started in, you know what, I don't remember whether I started in new farmer mode, but I might have. I think I started in new farmer mode and then I sold everything off. I'd have to actually go back and watch my own video to figure that out. Important that Crusty and I decided after moving forward to 25, just want players to enjoy it as they wish. Yeah, that's totally cool. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to enjoy it as much as... trying to enjoy this map for what it is and enjoy it as much as I can. But I think at this point, I've done contracts on just about every single field in the game on the map. And I'm only 100 hours in, so... I'm going to have to start playing like entire years offline and then bringing you guys back to see where I am. Just because at some point we're just going to be like, okay, I just have to put in the time and it's just going to be doing the same thing over and over and over because we've already done all the things that we can do. You know what I mean? But at least now we're doing something new where we're setting up 2 new farms. And one of those farms only has like 1 tractor. Like the other farm, the rice farm, only has 1 tractor and the rice planter. It doesn't even have the rice harvester because I sold it because I wanted to buy land instead. So to harvest the rice that we have, we still have to buy a rice harvester. Like we can't even harvest the rice that we have without getting a rice harvester. So there's that. And I noticed today also, when I was searching for more tractors for the rice farm, right? And I'm trying to use the Aiseki brand. There's only 1 mod on ModHub or on anywhere for the Aiseki tractors. And I think it's just the tractor that we have from Giants shrunken slightly and given a different model number. Like, I don't even think that it's a new tractor. It's just smaller with less horsepower. And so it makes me think that I'm going to have to do some, like, on that rice farm, I'm going to have to get some Kubota or something like that. Kubota's made in Asia, right? I don't know. Who knows anything about tractors? Rusty, is Kubota made in Asia? Are Kubotas essentially Asian tractors? I feel like I heard that somewhere. Korean. See, I told you. Hella Asian. I'll get a Kubota tractor and we'll just paint it hot pink. If I need a bigger tractor on that farm. I don't think I will, but... Kubota's pretty popular in the US. From what I understand. But I don't know what it's like to... in... like Japan, China, like what tractors they use. I'm sure I could Google it, but I just don't know. Don't buy a TYM or Branson. Why have I seen TYM before? I've heard of that name. I feel like TYM makes motorcycles, don't they? Oh yeah, Aiseki I'm sure is not very common. I'm sure. It was literally added to the game because Aiseki has a rice harvester and a rice planter, and that's why it was added to the game. You guys know at this point that I don't watch sports very often, if at all. But the only sporting event which I do follow, I don't necessarily watch, but I follow, I'll say, is the Dakar Rally. And for the past couple of years, the Dakar Rally has been in, whoops, that is a street sign. And I cut that corner much too hard. The Dakar Rally right now is in Saudi Arabia. It's actually happening right now. They're on day 7 or 8, I think, of a 14-day off-road rally. All my time in Asia, I most saw Massey's. Oh, interesting. Interesting. But anyways, the Dakar Rally is an off-road rally with motorcycles, cars, quote unquote, trucks, quote unquote, and UTVs. UTVs side by sides are now a really big part of the Dakar Rally. And one of the rules for some of those rallies is that it has to be homoglomated, which means basically that you if you want to enter in the legit division, I don't know what it's called, there has to be at least 400 of that vehicle made in reality to qualify for you to enter a rally version of that same vehicle in the vehicle class, right? It has to be legit. It has to be real in some way, right? And so one cool thing that's happening this year, come on, what are you running into? Because there's no, oh, there's street sign maybe. So one cool thing that's happening this year is they've updated the class rules for the T1 class, so that more and more vehicles can be part of the T1 class. And the tier one class is road legal production cars that have been updated to essentially rally spec, to enable them to compete. And so they changed the rules around a little bit to allow more vehicles to be in. And this year, Land Rover is in the Dakar Rally, and they haven't been in the Dakar Rally since I think the 70s or something like that. But Land Rover's in the Dakar Rally this year, which is really cool. And so that they have a vehicle in the Dakar Rally based off of the Land Rover Defender Octa, or Octa. I want to say Octa, but it might be Ocra. But basically, they're high-end Land Rover Defender, and they have it in this rally where they're racing off-road for 14 days nonstop. They cover like 6,500 miles, and the vehicle that they're racing with is 65% stock. Like, most of the body panels are stock. The engine is stock. The transmission is stock. The transfer cases are stock. The cooling system is stock. Like, and the frame is stock, and some of the suspension components also have to be stock, but they can add to them basically. And it's crazy to see how much they took an off-the-shelf car, which you can go and buy right now, and then converted it for rally racing. It's insane what they've done to it. It looks so cool. And the worst part is they had to detune. So they have to basically detune their truck because the rules for that class were determined that you can only have a maximum of, like, I want to say 375 horsepower or something like that. But the Land Rover Octa has like 698 horsepower or something insane because it has a freaking V8 engine in it. So they actually had to chip it to detune it so that it has a significant amount of torque but less horsepower to meet within the class rules. But apparently the Land Rover team is doing really, really good, and they're in like 3 cars, first, second, and third, which is super cool to see. I love to see, like, and it's like their first year doing it. And it's been fun over the past couple of years because there's been a lot of firsts at the Dakar Rally, where they've done interesting vehicles, or car companies that haven't been part of the rally in a long time have come in, raced for a couple of years, and then, you know, won things and then left. Like Dacia is in there in the rally this year, and they've been there for the past 2 or 3 years, which is a European brand that most people don't even know about. Audi was there for a couple of years with a really kick-ass car that was totally bespoke just for the rally, in competing in the ultimate class. And there's been a bunch of other cars. Like there's a Ford Raptor. Ford came to the Dakar Rally. They hadn't been in the Dakar Rally almost in ever. And now there's a Ford Raptor. There's actually 2 Fords in 2 different classes this year. There's a Ford Raptor, which is a totally bespoke Raptor. It looks nothing like a Ford Raptor. It just has the name, and I think the same engine block, like not the whole engine, just the block, is the same as a normal Ford Raptor. But they also, the Ford Bronco Raptor is in the Dakar Rally this year, which is pretty freaking cool. In that same class with the Land Rovers. They're not doing as well as the Land Rovers are, because the Land Rovers are awesome. But the Bronco Raptor is supposedly doing pretty well. But anyways, that's where I think I've seen the TYM brand before. Is I think a couple years ago, there was a couple entries from the TYM brand racing a TYM motorcycle in one of the motorcycle classes, because I used to follow the motorcycle classes pretty heavily. Okay, we're gonna park the guy here for now. Yeah, we'll do this for a minute. We'll stop harvesting. Actually, you know what we'll do is we're gonna do this. Switch the header, unfold the header. Dupe. I'm not folding. Unfold the header. Fold the harvester. I love how the harvesters fold. I think their folding animation is pretty awesome. And we're going to take our header trailer and drive to the other field. To start harvesting our second contract. And that's funny. It shows that our contract is done, even though we have product in a trailer that we haven't sold yet. That's interesting. Where's my contract? I think it's that one up on the hill. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's that one up on the hill. I will let Courseplay do that one. Yeah, the Audi Quattro was like in the 80s rally scene. Like the Audi Quattro like changed the game. Like Audi was known for changing the game in the rally scene, and the Audi Quattro in the Dakar scene was even crazier. They basically took their Audi Quattro and they just started owning the Dakar rally also. And so Audi tried to come back with, I'm pretty sure, didn't they? I don't remember. I think they came back with a gasoline engine powered one, but there was also an electric version for a little while. I don't know if that was just the one that Ken Block did, or there was actually an electric one in the rally. I don't remember. But yeah, Audi was like, they changed the game as far as like everyone followed Audi. Literally. Oh, unfold. Unfold. Course. Field position here. Field work settings. 2 headlands. Generate course. That's fine. And Cosworth. Cosworth, I would love to have a Ford Cosworth. That's a badass looking car. I don't think the Cosworths ever made it to the US, did they? You know, I'm almost positive they didn't. I think the Cosworth was a UK only car, wasn't it? Perfect. Now that guy's doing his job. I'm going to tab over to here. Is that other field also barley? It is also barley, so I'm just going to add it to this trailer. But this guy... Ooh. I like the sound of this vent. Boop-a-boop. I don't have access to this land. Listen to that thing. That motor just sounds like beast mode. Yeah. And that's insane, right? Like, you could get a Tesla for 50K, or you could get a Causey from the 90s. That in a concept just is so weird. Can I get 3 rows? I think I can. Yeah, I can get 3 rows. But anyway, I noticed that the car rally is happening like a couple days late. I used to actually like avidly follow it, like avidly, like refreshing web pages, looking for video updates, like reading news articles and watching like video clips and all that kind of stuff. I used to avidly follow the rally, but now I just kind of watch it ancillarily. I guess I don't know if that's the right word. Just for fun. But when I saw the whole thing about the Land Rover, I like fell into a Land Rover hole, researching all this, figuring out what they're doing and trying to check that out because it's cool what they're trying to do. Escort and the Sierra Cosworth are your two favorite cars. Nice. Nice. One of the cars that one car that's a European only car that I always, it only came out in the UK, that I would still to this day love to see, was the Volkswagen Corrado. Not the 80s and 90s Corrado, which is an awesome car, but Volkswagen released right around the time when they were doing their GTI, where when the GTI Mark II, Mark III, they had a Corrado that they only released for like 2 years in the EU, which was basically a really fat-assed GTI. It was a little bit longer, a little bit wider, but wider for the GTI is amazing. It's such a good thing. But a fat rear-ended GTI. And I would love to see one of those things in real life. But it was Europe only. Yeah. think it was cool because like we would end up seeing like a lot of like I watched Top Gear since the beginning, and you'd see a lot of cars on Top Gear or other similar shows that you wouldn't normally see in real life because a lot of those cars never made it to the US. And so you'd see a lot of cars, you'd be like, oh, that looks like a pretty awesome car. Like the Skodas. I don't know why. I don't know if they're good cars or not, but I always like the look of the Skoda rally cars. Not necessarily their street cars, but their rally cars were awesome looking. Whoops. Sometimes I should put down my my input. Oh, wait. I can actually go backwards. Look at that. This is one of the mods that'll be coming out soon for all platforms. I'm hoping to get this one submitted within the next month or two. I need to jump into Blender and make something though, which, you know, is delaying it incredibly. See those little like markers? See the little marker here? This little marker? Which is literally just a rod with a ball on top. It's not passing test runner right now because I made that in GE. I didn't make it in Blender. So to be able to get that to pass test runner, I have to actually make those markers for real. And I just haven't done it yet. Back in the day, I used to have a Volkswagen GTI, like a Mark IV GTI, and my younger brother sent me a picture the other day of, and I had a cosmic green Mark IV GTI. There's only 500 of them in the world. It was a very, very rare color, and my brother sent me a picture of an Audi RS6, I think, hatchback. There was somebody had customized and slammed it to the ground and painted it the same color as that GTI. It looked awesome. He's like, hey, here's an upgrade for your old GTI. It looked really, really awesome. But I can't do sports cars anymore. It's too much. It's too fast, the police couldn't keep up. I don't think I ever saw a Lotus Carlton. I know about the Lotus Elise and the Lotus Exige, but I don't know of any other. I don't know anything about any other Lotus cars. I know Lotus had a rally car, and they had an F1 car, and they had a like a Le Mans car, but I don't remember what they're called. So you're saying the Carlton was their rally car? That's totally something the UK would do, though. Ban a car because the police cars can't keep up. Oh, the Audi has a Cossi engine. Oh, okay. Well, that makes it even better. Look up 40 RAR. Okay, I will. Oh, I need to be unloaded. I want that guy to finish eventually, so I'm going to go clear him out. Well, I mean, we're probably going to just finish these 2 contracts tonight. But it's kind of cool because we're getting the new farm started, right? We're getting the 3rd farm in this challenge at least started. And we'll start getting some equipment. I think I'm definitely going to keep this Fent on that farm. And maybe do some more contracts with, and what I'll probably do actually is stop doing contracts altogether on the logging farm. The logging farm has multiple ways of earning profit and keeping up with all of the productions that it needs to keep up with, right? The logging farm is doing great. And so the other farms can start doing contracts if they need to build up and buy machinery and vehicles and stuff like that. So that's what we'll do is we'll do the logging farm. Well, the logging farm will no longer do contracts, but we will do contracts for the other 2 farms to help the other 2 farms grow. And the goal left over for the logging farm is going to be to finish the whoa, where are you going, jerk face? I don't want, no. Stop. Asshat? No. Stop while unloading. I'll have to look up the Lotus Carlton. That sounds interesting. Yeah, of course you have a full grain tank. You didn't let me unload you, jerk. Because you just drove off. And your pipe's too long. All right, we'll let him finish doing that. We'll get back over here for this. Yeah, we're totally keeping this Fendt tractor. This Fendt tractor's awesome. And it was cheap. Normally, like these kind of this level tractor with this kind of horsepower would be like 300 or 400 grand. This was 100 grand to buy it. I know we leased it, but we're leasing it for like 5 grand a month. That's nothing. We were only going to make like 10, 15 grand off this field's straw. But combine that with the other field's straw and we'll make back all the money we spent on this lease. I don't know why I keep opening and closing the cover. It seems like the right thing to do. I don't know why. I'm just doing it anyways. I'm just doing it for fun, I guess. I don't know. There's no reason to. Oh, out of water. Stream must be over. See what we haven't done very much with this map yet, right? We haven't used this grain mill that's over here, like over here to over there. We haven't used that grain mill. We haven't used this grain mill right here. Here. We haven't used the dairy at all. We haven't used the animal dealer at all. We haven't used the train yet. Like, I haven't even gotten on the train here. I'm assuming it's a train, and it works like the trains do. But we haven't used it at all. I did edit this map so that even like these little grassy areas right here, I could buy these grassy areas and start mowing them. And maybe I'll do that with this farm. This farm will be the one where I start using those grain mills and stuff. I mean, what's here? Like, what's the stuff that we get to own on this map? Like, I don't even know. Thanks for saving again. Like, there's this thing right here, which is the grain elevator, which is just a sell point. This one is the grain mill, which is a production, and we could buy it for $280,000. No, thank you. But we can also buy all of these little grass areas here and start getting some free grass off of very cheap land. 202, 64 grand just for this grassy area, and make some money off of the grass. We did that in other places too. We don't need to be unloaded yet? I'm surprised. 71% on that harvester. He does not need to be unloaded yet. I can't see how full this is. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to maximize our profits from these contracts because they don't pay very well. Check out over here. How are we doing? Oh, that's why it's taking so long. It's because he's going across, and it's up and down a hill. I just have to get into his zone. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Oh, I did it. I did it. I got into his zone. His trigger zone. Nice. Even though I'm going uphill. Sweet. Sorry, I have to zoom out a little bit so that the sound of these vehicles doesn't drive me insane. Boop. Yeah, see, we're at the same zoom level, and this thing is too loud. So this thing needs a volume adjustment. Some modders, for some reason, they like to, like... You'd think that the Giants would check that, right? Like, it seems pretty simple to take a WAV file, or an OGG file, or OG file, whatever the stupid format is that Giants requires, and to test any WAV files that are submitted and make sure they're at the same peak volume level as everything else that Giants makes, because this thing is like 50% louder than everything else. And maybe the waveform is at a higher level, but maybe the how gross, Project Motor vomit. Maybe the XML file is just saying, hey, use sounds that are way too loud. I opened a truck once that I used in my which one was it? The Middleburg playthrough that I did. And the truck was set to volume of 4.4. And that's where 1.0 is 100% volume level. So it was set at 440% volume. And it was like this, where you could be completely zoomed out and it still hurt your ears. It's like, why do people do that? Why do people make their trucks so loud that it hurts your ears? I don't understand. All right, we're almost done with straw here, and then we can go to the other field and start doing the straw there, while we're letting the harvester do its job. Yeah, exactly. I was going to use that example, Phil, but I didn't want to like diss it all. But yeah, all of his trucks, 82 Studios seems to very much enjoy loud trucks, and he wants his trucks, from what it seems, to be twice as loud as anything that's coming from Giants. Which is a preference. It's the nicest way I can say that. I mean, it's a preference. It's wrong, but it's a preference. It's like someone telling you they like anchovies on pizza. Like, okay. I mean, that's a preference. It's totally wrong, but it's preference. I used to work in a pizza place, and that was the worst thing we ever had to do. Was people would order anchovies on pizza, and so at the pizza place, we literally had like a box of latex gloves at the front where we made the pizzas, and we would open up a can of anchovies. And of course, if you only open one can of anchovies a night, because there's only ever one pizza that wanted anchovies, and they would go bad once it was open. So you'd open one can a night, pretty much. And once you opened it, we would like double glove to make sure that like we wouldn't get any of the stink on our hands. And then we would make the pizza, and then we would get it out of the oven as soon as possible because it stunk up the oven too. And of course we had to do it, but you know, it was that same thing. Like, it's a preference, but not sure how or why. I mean, but you know, everyone has those kind of things. There's always that hot debate. A lot of people don't like, some people don't like the idea that pineapple should be on pizza. People don't like pineapple on pizza. I personally don't mind. But I don't want it, but I don't mind. And I mean, with pizza, you know, people come up with some crazy ideas for pizza. I came up with some pretty crazy ideas for pizza. Back when I used to work at the pizza shop, I made a pizza that is, I have yet to see ever to this day on an actual menu. I've never seen it. And it's like the easiest and simplest, like, I can't believe no one thought of this kind of pizza. And it's amazing. I'll tell you guys. So it's the best pizza you'll never have because no one will make it. Because it's like a, you know, these days, back then it was like a $15 pizza. These days it would be like a $50 pizza. But you start to make the pizza, right? But instead of red sauce, you use garlic butter, right? The garlic butter that you use to make the garlic bread. And then you take the garlic butter and you use that instead of sauce. And then you put on cheese. So it's basically a garlic bread pizza essentially at this point. And then you take the steak that they use for steak and cheese sandwiches, like a steak and cheese hoagie sandwich, like a Philly steak and cheese. Use that steak, which is ribeye, and it's frozen, so you have to cook it a little bit on the grill first. But you cook it just a little bit on the grill, and then you spread it on the pizza. And then if you really want the full steak and cheese experience, you also put on onions and mushrooms and green peppers, right? For the full kind of Italian steak and cheese, Philly steak and cheese, right? And then you put more cheese on, more pizza cheese on top. So steak and cheese pizza. It's the best thing ever. And we also used to make dessert pizzas before it became a thing at other places. We would make dessert pizzas where there's no cheese, but we would put like butter and sugar and like marshmallows and stuff like that, and make a dessert chocolate chip cookie kind of pizza. But the steak and cheese pizza was like my claim to fame. I was the one who came up with that idea. But when I told corporate about it, they were like, nope, we're not doing that. Because they figured out that it would actually cost the company like, for like, you know, like, well, you know, most people don't realize this. They make a pepperoni pizza at any pizza chain right now. It only costs the company like $2, maybe $3 to make that a large pepperoni pizza. Sauce, cheese, dough, blah, 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 blah. Their cost for that pepperoni pizza that they're charging you $20 for is like $2 or $3 max, right? Probably more like $1.50. And so when they're charging you $45 for a pepperoni pizza, just remember that that's like 99% profit. It doesn't cost them very much. But then you get like a supreme pizza, and a supreme pizza costs like $5 or $6 because of all the extra toppings on it, right? And so the more expensive the toppings, the more less the price point for that pizza is. And they figured out that my steak and cheese pizza would have cost the company like $15 to make because of the cost of the steak. Because it was the same amount of steak as like 2 large steak and cheese subs. And they didn't like that. So they never added to the menu. Their loss. Hey, J Meister, how you doing? Welcome in. Actually, I'm gonna ask J Meister. Where are you located in the U.S.? Are you located in like? Is it you or is it Jaked Up who's in Philly? In like the not Philly but the Pennsylvania area. I know Bruce is in Pennsylvania area, right, Bruce? Do you guys have Papagino's in your area? Or did you at one time have Papagino's pizzerias? Has anyone here ever heard of a Papagino's? It's a Italian pizzeria. That's the one I used to work at. When I was in like... Back when I was your age, when I was in high school. I don't even know if they still exist. Oh, I think I have to empty out that harvester. Anyways, that was the pizza place I used to work for. It was pretty fun. See, we're already at $105,000 and we borrowed $100,000. So we've already made $5,000 profit. We haven't collected on either of these two jobs. We have an extra vehicle. We have a tractor and a forage wagon now that are leased, but we have them for now. These two contracts have been somewhat profitable, and all we're doing is selling the straw. If we were like, if I was smart and drove to the other side of the map to sell the straw at the bulk storage thing for my fieldwork fill station, I would make even more. Why am I not doing that? It's my own damn fill station. Right? What's the cost? Commodity, I don't have any in stock. Prices. Let's go down to straw. One of the big benefits of... Why is straw not on here? Why is straw up here and not down there? I don't understand. So if you go to the bulk fill station, it's $99. It's twice the price at anywhere else. The animal dealer, I'm only getting $48. If I go to my fill station, I make $99. No! Don't tip me over! Freaking Courseplay asshat. So I would have made twice as much if I just went a little bit extra distance and went to my fill station. Why did I totally forget about that? Michigan, okay. But no one's ever heard of a Papagino's. I wonder if they're still in business. I did actually look it up the other day. Not the other day, like a month ago. I did actually look it up and I found someone who had figured out their dough recipe. Because the Papagino's dough was kind of special. It was different. And somebody has reverse engineered their dough and figured out a pizza dough recipe for the Papagino's dough. So I might try to make some Papagino's dough to make that steak and cheese pizza myself. the problem is how I'm going to get the steak, right? Because the steak was like deli sliced, shaved, frozen steak. And the only way to do it is to literally freeze a ribeye steak and then shave it on a deli slicer. So that's going to take a little bit more effort than I think I'm ready for. But I'll do it. Steakums? Yeah, but I mean, steakums, you're right. Something like steakums would be a good, like, an easy way of getting that. You're right. I didn't think of that. That would be something. But I would want to use like good quality ribeye, and I don't really think that Steakums has good quality ribeye, personally. I think it's not ribeye. It's probably just shaved junk meat. Okay. Which container am I doing from? Front? Okay, I'm emptying there. Emptying the front. Is Steakums good quality meat? I really don't know. I think I've heard that name before, but never had any experience with it. I could, I suppose, go to the deli and just get some prime rib or something like that, like shaved roast beef prime rib at the deli, and just use that. Like shaved roast beef or prime rib roast beef at the deli, and use that on my pizza. That would work. %46 transported. Wrong button. I can't figure out the right buttons here, folks. I'm having a real problem with the buttons. This multi-section trailer is just driving me crazy. %92 transported. So we are almost done. All right. Have a good one, Bed. Have a good one, Deep South. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for coming in and enjoying the stream. Glad to have you here. Thank you for subscribing and whatnot. I greatly appreciate that. I've had a lot of fun chatting with you guys tonight. I'm sorry for making you hungry right before bedtime. I'm hungry. I haven't even eaten yet, so I still have to figure out what to get. I might actually go get a steak out of the freezer and have that for dinner. But we're on our way, and Can You Survive will be back. Whether we come back in June or like July, I don't think we're going to come back in the next month. I might start jumping ahead a little bit more in this series, going 1 or 2 episodes where I'm doing a bunch of stuff in the middle and then come back to the live stream. I could also do it what Crustu has been doing, where he's doing recorded videos in between live streams, or vice versa. He's been doing live streams in between recorded videos. But in all honesty, I'm not really a fan of recorded videos right now. So, yeah, I'm still looking for an editor. I want to do a lot of help video tutorial videos. I have a lot of teaching that I want to do and to provide information for the farm sim community. And I'm looking for someone who'd be willing to edit those type of videos for me. That was fun. So if anybody's looking to do some would like to do some editing or looking for some extra money, hit me up. Let me know. I am looking for an editor who's willing to do some tutorial style video editing. Should be very, very easy editing. No kind of time lapses or anything like that. Just pretty simple video editing, but I just don't have the time. This guy's sitting here done, but he's not done, but he is done. He still has a whole row to do. Why is he sitting here waiting to get unloaded? You missed a row, dumbass. You missed an entire row. What the hell? You're not finished. You're not even close to finished. Why'd you skip that row, you dummy? That field is not done. We are trying to maximize profits here. Why did you skip that field? Unfold. Back to work. I have to turn on the course. Remember to turn on the course play setting to do hard corners instead of smooth corners. To make sure we get all that content. Or crop. I don't know why courseplay just ignored this field, but whatever. We'll finish it off. Well, and there we go. That was, I can't believe it took us an entire stream to do 2 contracts. Just 2. But it looks like we're going to make about 30 grand, maybe 40 grand when all's said and done. Zoom all the way down to that corner. Get that corner. And then we'll pick up the straw. I'll pick up the straw afterwards. You guys need to see me do that. So we got our a third farm started finally. I'm actually excited about getting it started, especially this is a good time of year to get it started because all these fields here in this like plains area, I consider all those fields like this farm's territory, the center farm's territory. And so when the contracts come up for this area, we're going to have to make sure that this farm has the equipment it needs to be able to do those contracts. And then we'll use that money from the contracts to build up that farm and get our own equipment and not lease and stuff like that. But that looks like what we've done, and that looks like what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and empty out this tractor or harvester, dump all this barley so we can mark the contract as finished. Right now it's at 99% done, which means we're going to have to sell to finish it, but I'll do that off stream. It's actually the end of my time. I want to say a special thank you to everyone for coming along. Thank you for joining me. Special thank you to all of our AI members. You guys keep this channel alive. There isn't a couple edits I have to do. I need to update this list a little bit. It's a little bit stagnant. I haven't updated it in a month or two. But the EAM members, either way, these are the people who've decided to spend their hard-earned money to keep this channel alive. thank you so much for being here, and thank you for helping out in any way that you can. I greatly appreciate all of it. If you'd like to join, hit that membership down below, or there's also a Ko-Fi link for donations if you want to just send $5 and help me buy a coffee. That would be super generous, but nothing is required. I just love having you here. Love having everyone chatting in the chat and keeping this stream alive. But to everyone, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.